This next one that we're going to jump into, man, is a KJP response to Peter Doocy when it comes to this particular matter. So bear with me for a second, and I will get her queued up here. Did I just do that? So, I mean, just on the lines of where we're at and what we're talking about with this, it's not like they're not trying to cover for it and stuff. Like they don't want. That's my biggest problem with it, is the honesty is not, the blatant lies, like over and over again. So with that said, man, I had this one for us to check out. This is going to be KJP. This is going to be her response to Peter Doocy when he, was following up with questions about the report, Moore's report with Biden. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and play this through.
Thank you, Karine. If the special counsel says President Biden's got significant limitations on his memory, then who is helping him run the country?
The President of the United States runs the country. The Commander-in-Chief runs the country.
How can he be trusted with the nuclear codes if I get that you're saying that nobody in the building would say that he's got an issue with his memory, but just a little part of what we get to see, he's made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake on camera this week.
So I'm going to be very clear here. The reality is that report, that part of the report, does not live in reality. It just doesn't.
So the special counsel is lying about the president's memory.
It was gratuitous. You heard from Ian Sams, my colleague. It is unacceptable.
So whose reality are we living in?
And it does not live in reality. That is just the facts. And look, it is a closed case. That is what the special counsel said. And what matters is here
it's a closed case because
in the last 3 years,
your client can't stay in trial.
Has delivered unhealthy.
Right. It's amazing. Like you said earlier, she wants to hold on to it's a closed case part, but the other part ain't in reality. The fact that everybody can see that this man's mental capacity is diminished, to say the very least, that part's not in reality. She's so full of, but I watch a lot of her, and she's full of it regardless. But I'll let her last.
No, Trump, like everybody say, I'm crazy. And they still making me stand trial. Get some bullshit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? All right. She's got a few more seconds. Let's let the last little 40-something seconds play.
Healthcare has turned this country around after the last president left us with an economy that was in a tailspin. That's what we're dealing with.
That was a lie.
If you think about the world leaders and issues that have been going on in this country for the past 2-3 years, not in this country, in the world, right? When you think about Ukraine, the president was able to bring together NATO allies. They've been the strongest than they've ever been, and make sure that we are providing what Ukraine, the brave people of Ukraine, need as they're fighting aggression, Putin's aggression. And that is what this president has been able to do. His experience as former senator, as former vice president, and now president, has gotten us to a place where we've been able to turn things around in a way that we meet the needs of the American people, whether it's domestic issues or national security issues. And that is what matters. That part of the report does not live in reality. Bye, everybody. Have a great
That
other part BS.
Live in reality. I mean, like, literally, what's wrong with these people?
If I could say it's not reality, it's not reality.
Man, yeah.
That's how we operate. If I say this is reality, It's reality.
Yeah, that's the reason that they've been giving us with everything, and that's But this just goes to everything with this administration. Look, we don't have to choose to live in your false reality, man.
She
We
said,
just
"This
don't
is
have to.
not reality."
That's what she said.
Think
That's what she
about that.
the this is but again, it goes back to the video we just showed prior to that. You know what I'm saying? Where someone took time to put together 5 minutes of this man over the past few years and all the many things that's showing that he's not all there.
And, I really thought he was going to resign. I called my wife. I was like, "The president about to quit. He about to give
Uh,
it up."
but see, the thing is you have to realize one thing. It goes or realize another thing with it. It goes back to what we was talking about with the DNC and how they, the establishment runs that party and everything like that. Look, they know who they want to install in office next, but they have to make sure that there's no chance that democracy can stop that from happening.
And who is that?
I'm not going to speculate whether if it's Michelle, if it's Gavin, or whoever the heck it is. Look, regardless, they know, but they don't want to risk it on the process. You see what I'm saying? So they run this whole sham like, oh, Biden's running, he's able to run, not able to run, not able to stand trial, but he's able to run the argumentatively the most powerful country in the world. That don't make no sense. But
Well, let me
the
let me
thing
ask you
is
this.
that they have to hold on to this lie long enough to make it through probably until the actual conference
Convention.
convention,
Yep. And
because
then they can
regardless, they want to be able to just say this is who's going to run against Trump, opposed to giving their party's people the opportunity during this whole primary season to pick and to choose who they want to represent them. You see what I'm saying? And that's more of the same. But yet, all these people that's supporting them are going to be the ones that's telling you that Donald Trump is the one that's a threat to democracy, even they keep supporting this party that is blatantly sitting on democracy. That's all I got to say about that one.
all you got to do is go back to Bernie, y'all. Everybody, y'all remember Bernie? That wasn't that long ago. They said no, Bernie, no, Bernie, no, Bernie, Bernie. We don't care what the people say, Bernie. This is who we are backing, and this is who everybody will support, Bernie. Now, Bernie, look, we're gonna give you another house. We're gonna give you a couple of good little paychecks, and you'll have some clout of being the runner up, and we're gonna let you ride like that, Bernie. Okay, you accept that, Bernie? Okay, boss. And we got Hillary.
You know, and the thing is that we don't, well, I liked Bernie for at the time. Now,
I did.
one thing
Hey, man.
one thing we don't like or that I don't like is I don't like certain weaknesses and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's like to me selling out is a big weakness, okay? And standing your ground is a big strength. And again, that's one of the things that won me over to Trump back then, or not back then, because when they did that to Bernie, you know what I'm saying, I was just like I was kind of just done, but you know me, I wasn't gonna vote for Trump because he had no political history whatsoever, and
And
I
and and Michelle does.
no, she don't. I won't vote for Michelle,
She's
Michael,
gonna
Michelle,
win.
whoever it is. I'm not going to vote for it. No,
She's gonna
but
win.
again, there's very, very,
You
very,
can't
very,
beat
very,
no.
very, very little out there that would ever get me to support this current Democratic Party, and until it changes some of its fundamental beliefs and things that it's pushing on society, there's no support coming to
You
no.
want to do something funny? If I was Kamala Harris, I quit because everybody be talking about how the first black woman president. and the best one that could probably win that, they're talking about Michelle this, Michelle that. But you already got a black woman that's vice president. You like,
Supposedly, but and they won't push for her. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And that's the thing about it. Now, of course, all of us that's what I'm saying, looking at it from a different side, not looking at it to support that party, but looking at it from a different side, we know what it is from the get go. You know what I'm saying? It ain't our fault that you keep getting fooled into this bull crap, following these lies and supporting it and saying, oh yeah, we're supporting her as the she's a strong, qualified black woman and all this and all that. And then when it's time to put up or shut up, ain't nobody calling for her.
nobody.
Nobody. None of y'all. Instead, y'all rather sit there and talk about how bad and crazy Trump is, and Biden is just old, but but Trump is deranged. No, Trump ain't even in this conversation. We talking about the
Man,
Democratic Party right now. The Democratic Party. Why are your rights being taken away from you from being able to pick and choose your leader? Why is that happening to you? Because that ain't happening on the other side. The other side is getting their butts kicked. They trying to stop the man from, they putting up their candidates and this bull crap they pulling with Nikki Haley and stuff. But the other side understands they at the end of the day, they're gonna have to go with the will of their people. And the will of their people is telling them clearly when you can go to Nevada and stuff and say, hey,
man.
would you rather have
None of the above. All another blank zero.
hey, so I mean we
She should have quit that day. Like this party sucks. I'm
but we
done.
all know,
This party,
again,
this
the
party
reason that
sucks.
she's in it is because look, like the same with New Hampshire. You know what I'm saying? She did that bad in New Hampshire too. She only got 20 something percent. The only reason she got higher is because of all the Democrats and Republicans who were allowed to vote in the New Hampshire primary that was able to vote for her. So you being put in, you running for a Republican place, but you being held in place by Democrats and independents and not by Republicans. Do you really think that's going to fly in the Republican Party? No, everybody knows this already. So at this moment, every day that she stays in is just another tactic to go against Trump, to give him more to go against. So now he got to stay
Well,
involved, spending money in these primaries when he should have been done, moved on to the general election.
when he when she loses South Carolina, it's a wrap.
Man, you've been
Look here,
seeing them crowds.
man.
Man,
You
they
don't lost your
lining up
home
for Trump
state,
out
girl.
there. They is lining up in South Carolina. They are lining up. Just the sheer crowds that they're showing is just enough to let you know that they're like, look, we're trying to make it clear. We're trying to show you who we are supporting. So if anything else happens of outcome besides showing that we supporting this man, y'all know something is a foul. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point of why he keeps doing rallies. Because the more you keep showing that it's American people that's actually coming out supporting me, the harder it's going to be for you to say, well, it's not the American people that want you in office. That it, it don't fly. It don't fly. We can see with our own eyes, and you keep showing us stuff that ain't.
You know, it just goes to show. I know, it has something has to happen this week. You know what I'm saying? It's been acknowledged. You know, hey, y'all can't go no longer. Y'all can't. Y'all gonna have to go ahead, let a girl take over, and until the end of the month, end of November, whenever, and y'all need to hurry up and put somebody up, whatever. But the man is done. He's done. He's done. He can't make another decision that's not questioned from here on out.
I mean, but when you're dealing and see, this goes back to when we talking about the words that she kept using, right? Reality. It's just not reality. When you are able to find yourself in a situation willingly where, you know what I'm saying, you have people who keep pushing a false reality over and over again and convincing you that this is supposed to be reality. You're supposed to live within this reality with them. You can't be surprised when you come to these type of crossroads where it's like this is something that people can see. It don't matter what side of any spectrum you on. If you can't see with your own eyes that this man is not competent, this man has forget what you believe. They are telling you that they will not approach this man and do what they are supposed to do and hold him liable or attempt to hold him liable criminally because he would not be considered fit to go through the process of being convicted by the law or accused or that's crazy. But yet you want me to believe he's sitting in these offices and on these calls with world leaders and all these other people, and he's not fumbling around and doing all the stuff that we see him doing in short moments on TV.
Patron.
You mean to tell me this is what your argument really? He has he has a bunch of
Advisor.
advisors around him and stuff like that. So you're telling me that this man is not performing like this with those advisors, and in a place like DC where power rules all, you mean to tell me them advisors ain't taking advantage of this? If this is what's going on, I can have my way with the person who's supposed to make the final decision, and you think they ain't doing that? That yes, reality. Let's live in some reality, y'all. Why are we refusing to accept reality based off of what these people keep saying?
Right.
You know,
Right.
they got us to the point where we're so willing to accept whatever reality whatever they tell us is reality that they think that they can just pull anything.
Well, that's the way it's been going, but the pushback has been real. But now they have to make a good move right now, a real good move, because he
Well,
is not he's not even campaignable.
here's my question. If using the 25th Amendment is
Excuse me, 25th. I'm sorry, I've been saying 24th. You're correct, 25th.
yeah, if using it is going to be the the way to move past him or whatever to get him, because he obviously ain't gonna say I quit. Okay, so and obviously it seems like the ones around him are not pushing him to do that. So the next step would be to install the vice president for the months that they have left. Why are we not sticking right there? The question does not go past that at all. If we are looking at the right, we're not. I don't care about an election that's still yet 8 months down the line to fix a problem that is clearly way past due. We have a real serious issue at the top. We are the man that was elected to run or to be the commander in chief is not competent to stand trial in his own criminal defenses. That says a lot. People can say whatever they want about Trump. They cannot say that.
He must not be crazy. He's standing trial, ain't
That man's been in and out of court more these last 2 years,
he?
this last year or so, than
He
I've
has.
seen any one person go through in my lifetime.
I'll
You
give
know,
him a babbling session in a minute. Like, man, this nigga tight. He been up his guy to court last night. He down here in Arkansas at this rally now. you
exactly.
know?
Exactly. So, I mean, with just that, and I don't want to, people want to take that argument to all kinds of different places, even use time to really dig into talking about Trump about it. I don't listen. We have an issue right here now today that is
The man
it's
that's
been past
running
due.
the country.
So why are they not resorting to the solutions that our Constitution gives us. Why are they not this ready to put Miss? She's so great, right? Look, as a matter of fact, let's take a peek at what did she have to say about Biden's press conference. Let's
Oh,
take a look at that.
the same thing. Reality. That was not polite, Mr. Prosecutor. As an ex-prosecutor, we normally don't, do that.
Let me
But that's just like with Comey. He was like, yeah, there's plenty here to indict her on, but we don't do that because it's election time.
and that's the thing is, and I'm glad you said that because I wanted to bring that up earlier too. Like this is more when I said this is more of the same. That was right before you had something come up real quick, but this is more of the same. Like didn't we just relive this where the FBI and stuff is looking into this political corruption that's happening with classified documents and stuff? And didn't they just say, well, no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute this. Even she did the crime, but considering, the political um atmosphere that we're in at this time, no reasonable prosecutor would bring themselves prosecute this.
We ain't saying she didn't do it. We just saying ain't nobody gonna pick the
No,
case up.
on the contrary, we're saying she did do it.
Right. We just saying nobody gonna pick the case up.
She she's definitely broke the law. And this is in the FBI's mind. I mean, if they thought that she didn't break the law, then he wouldn't have said that there's reason that she broke the law. That'd be anyone else that they would put in that category, they would be like, we're going after, we're gonna prosecute. But his reply is not anything else. It's she broke the law, but considering the political atmosphere we're in, we're not gonna no reasonable prosecutor will prosecute this. So now we're dealing with okay, what's reasonable or not. So you
Right.
telling me all these prosecutors is prosecuting Trump and all this stuff. This is reasonable. But
Right.
aside from that, let's talk about Biden. You're telling me now you're saying, yes, there's definitely reason to believe he broke the law here. Pretty bad. But because he can't really remember it, and it's because of his age and he's so old and he's just really we sat and talked to him. And his dementia is so bad that he don't remember key things in his life, hell, leading to I mean things as far as like when his term was as vice president, maybe even the personal things is dealing with his son. I mean, he's just really bad. I mean, we've all had those grandparents. We know what it's like talking to them,
Hmm.
like as they're losing their 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 grasp on our shared reality. We know what that's like, and this is what it's like with him. Again, more of the same. Yes, he did it. No, we're not going to do anything about it because whereas you got Trump, where it's like, no man, I don't need to go to Trump. This is like beyond like ridiculous. Even with those two scenarios right there, it's like you're telling us that this bull crap is happening. This type of corruption and bull crap and disregard for the law is happening by these politicians and stuff. But you're saying that basically you're not going to do anything about it because either one, you catch them when they're too old to do anything about it, or two, because the political atmosphere is just not right for the FBI to get involved, which makes it very political in its own sense
But
to come
Trump's
out and
Trump's
tell us
Trump's
that.
is major. Because FBI all up in this mess.
I mean,
You know,
come on, they raided his house and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, yeah, we
no
know
ain't
it's
burning. But I just want to say that I hope the country doesn't allow this to go over a week. Realize where we're at. That man has to come out. He has to resign. They have to go ahead and enact the 25th Amendment. Somebody take charge of that motherfucker And just for, if anything, to give some kind of at ease to the world to keep. Man, do you realize he said Israel's over the top? Man, when I said
I
that, man,
I
I said,
seen
oh
him when he said it.
Lord.
In the
I
same,
said,
yeah, I seen him when he said it, and
he
you
just
know,
gave he just gave the green light for every Arab nation over there to do come down on Israel. He
in a
just gave
sense,
he
and
just gave just cause for it.
and for those who, and that's what I mean is like he's a train wreck on so many spectrums that it's like it's impossible to ignore. And again, this is to the point where it's evident that this is way past and way overdue. This is not something that can wait until the election. So
No, that's what I
all
said. They
these
got this week.
individuals who keep trying to change the discussion to talking about, oh well, he's still this is the never mind. He's still the better of the two. We not talk when you're saying that, that doesn't mean nothing to me, but you telling me he's better than the two when we're talking about between himself and his vice president, because that is the two that we are talking about at this time. This
That's
is
right.
not something that's future. This is something that needs to happen here and now. So you are telling me that this man is better than the two means he's better than the vice president as well, because that is the two that isn't contended for that spot right here, right now. 25th Amendment needs to happen. Period. If we are within the Constitution, following our Constitution, the American people need to be saved from a dementia of a commander in chief with dementia.
Like I said, they got this week. They got because man, they better not let up on them because man, they got this week because they've had the weekend for everything to marinate, everything to come out. Man, he had the whole nation in suspense for 45 minutes. What this cat doing calling an emergency meeting with the country about?
You know
You know
why
what
though,
I'm saying?
right? You know why that happened? Why they did like that?
Right? So, oh, because of Tucker Carlson.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly why that was done like that. Listen, for Carlson to release that interview at 6 o'clock, it's a 2 hour and 7 minute interview. They released it at 6 o'clock. And immediately all the people who tried to stream it on YouTube and stuff started getting their stuff taken down and paused and everything else. It was frantic. Okay. But you can find a way to watch it, and X was the primary source that was allowing people to watch it. So a lot of people were watching it on X and still was trying to stream it on other places and getting shut down and stuff. That was fun to watch. It was people don't think the censorship is serious, but it is. Now, when you called me, no, you texted me, I think, and told me, you said, "Man, I think you about to resign." You was like, I was like, what's going on? He's like, "Man, Biden about to give a press conference." Okay. That was already at like right when that was ending. And I was like, man, damn, he picked some odd time. Like, cause remember I told you, I said I'm sitting here watching the
yeah.
interview.
Watching Tucker
You know what
Carlson.
I'm
Yeah,
saying? All right. And I was a few minutes late on the interview because I started off on YouTube first, trying to support the people that I know that was streaming it. You know what I'm saying? So I started off trying to watch it on YouTube first, but they kept shutting them each down one by one and I had to keep bouncing around. And finally I was like, okay, now I'm gonna watch it on my X. So I go watch it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? So I was already running a little behind on it. But when by the time again, the timeline, by the time you called and said he was going on, I'm like, okay, and I switched over to the news channels to check it out and stuff. Well, now it was right around 8 o'clock now.
it's
So he
about 9.
No, it was
Was
right around 8 o'clock, a little
it
after
about
8.
8:45?
Yeah, a little
Oh,
after
about
8.
8:45. Okay,
And
about 8 o'clock when I called you. Okay.
yeah, and I'm like, okay. And then it wasn't until after I sat there and watched it and everything. I was like, oh, this is gonna be people about to go crazy on this. You know what I'm saying? But and then it wasn't until I talked to you on the phone or something that you actually said, man, they started reporting this so like 45 minutes ago or something like that. And I'm like, damn, they started reporting this early. They started reporting it while the interview was going on, getting people ready to, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as the interview was over, basically, they threw him out there to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? But between the censorship, all the censorships that were going on at the time, and between the heightened anticipation of what the hell does Biden want in the middle of the night? Well, this past his bedtime. What the hell he want to talk to us about? You know what I'm saying? Between that, there were millions and millions and millions of people who did not even get a whiff of what was going on with Tucker and Putin. You know what I'm saying? Then there's millions and millions who did, because you got somebody who spent $40-something billion to make sure that when stuff like this happens, individuals get an opportunity to see it for themselves. Wild timelines, man. Wild.
I mean, it's kind of funny that report was even released when it was,
Yeah.
Everything happens on Friday. That's the data dump that you don't want people to know. And now,
Yeah,
we went
when you
into the
dump something on
weekend.
a Friday, it's because you don't want the
You don't want people to know about it. See,
yeah, basically.
yeah, because people are moving around, they ain't paying no attention. The world shuts down over the weekend, in the matter of speaking. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say, come Monday morning and this week, oh, they got some they got some moves to make if they want to,
Well,
because
you know,
who's next in line other than Kamala right now.
well, and see, that's where I
Lucas
refuse.
Johnson.
That's where I refuse to go right now, because for all these true, we got to save democracy Democrats out here or liberals out here that I keep hearing this. We got to save democracy, and we got to and Trump will end democracy and all this stuff. I need to see some exercising of some democracy on them. I need to see them calling for it. I don't want to hear nothing about no Michelle Obamas. I don't want to hear nothing about no Gavin Newsom's. I don't want to hear nothing about the election until y'all figure out how to get a competent president in that White House right now. And obviously, there's a reason y'all don't want to put Kamala in, but rightfully, ain't that where the whole conversation should be right now? Is why are we hesitating to put the vice president in charge of the presidency? That should be the only argument right now. The only conversation. I don't want to hear about the election, because y'all ain't fit for the election if y'all ain't dealing with this. And with that said, let's check out her response real quick, because it's short, and then that'll give us something to talk about. It's 2 minutes and some change.
I'm glad you asked. Listen, I have been privileged and proud to serve as Vice President of the United States with Joe Biden as President of the United States. And what I saw in that report last night, I believe is, as a former prosecutor, the comments that were made by that prosecutor, gratuitous, inaccurate, and inappropriate. October 7th, Israel experienced a horrific attack. And I will tell you, we got the calls, the president and myself, in the hours after that occurred. It was an intense moment for the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. And I was in almost every meeting with the president in the hours and days that followed. Countless hours with the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, the heads of our intelligence community. And the president was in front of and on top of it all, asking questions and requiring that America's military and intelligence community and diplomatic community would figure out and know how many people were dead. How many are Americans? How many hostages?
You said what?
Is the situation stable? He was in front of it all.
You said what?
Her and that damn thumb of hers.
Her thumb?
Yeah, every time she do that, and all of her things. Now she want to describe how he's so engaged on. Man, come on,
Right.
go ahead,
Do
explain.
we believe he's engaged? Never mind. Let's let her finish since she's only got like a few seconds left. Oh, almost a little under a minute. Let's let her get her little thought out because there's a lot to unpack here.
Coordinating and directing leaders who are in charge of America's national security, not to mention our allies around the globe, for days and up until now, months. So the way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated, gratuitous. And so I will say that when it comes to the role and responsibility of a prosecutor in a situation like that, we should expect that there would be a higher level of integrity than what we saw. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
I'm chastising one of my ex, what I'm saying, cohorts, profession wise, we don't do play it like that. We take the bribe first. I mean, what I'm saying? It's just it's gotten to the point now to where it's getting upsetting, you know. The It's like, man, y'all just playing us all just to the left to accomplish what? Most of us out here, the things that y'all complain about, we already don't give two craps about it. So what is it y'all want? You know?
You'd be surprised at some of the answers people's come up with on that. But I mean that's the thing about it is just like the overall arrogance of it. You know what I'm saying? Of just I'm sit here and tell you any old kind of bullshit, and I have so much of your support that it don't even matter. And for real, it ain't even that I have your support because we are running this and we know how to keep power. We have power and we know how to keep power.
Man,
But
she's a black vice president. They don't even consider her a black vice president. I mean, it's like she has no connection.
she was
Zero.
the she was in charge of the border. They put her in charge of the border. Listen, they always keep putting these you're in a no win-win situation. Okay. One, she wasn't competent, even when with the simple things of at least get the people, saying the optics that you care and at least show up down there a few times and make it seem like you care. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, now, your boss is the one that told the American people he was gonna put this job in your hand.
Right. She'll handle it. She'll handle it.
Never heard nothing about it. I never heard her give no real substance speeches at all or about anything that she was engaged in or anything that was going on that was in any way going to address anything that was happening at the border in the whole 2.5, 3 years that she was supposed to
And
be doing
kicking
something.
it, giving her these cackling ass speeches.
Okay. Now we at this point in time where now everybody's making the border such a issue and stuff, but nobody's going back and saying nothing about the original. Well, it's got to be on purpose. Why else did they just put her in charge of it, knowing that there was nothing that she was going to do about it? Nor did they chastise her for not doing anything about it. I don't hear anybody saying, "Well, y'all know,
That was
we really."
Kamala's job.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and that's what I mean by they keep. Never mind.
Well,
So
like I said, to me, man, I'm at the point with it all to where at this point, Monday morning when business starts, y'all need to start the process because now, I mean, I'm waiting for it to go to the next level, and whoever's supposed to, I expect Congress to start raising hell next. If y'all not, then we got a problem with definitely with everything that's up there. Um, you know, it is confirmed and verified in paperwork and statements You know, evaluations need to be done, whatever you need to do, but it's time for transition of power. And it's time for Miss Kamala Harris to be the president of the United States. Uh, that's her
As
job.
sad as that is, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, more of this stuff that happened from this current Democratic Party and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Listen, much like Bernie Sanders and Hillary, and how we were just talking about how, you know what I'm saying, the establishment said, well, we want uh Hillary, so we don't care what the people want. Screw them. And this one was sort of one of those moves where you can see where it was a clear move made by the establishment, but it didn't make sense to the people. Okay. And it's, I mean it, that it's the same in that manner. Okay. Now she didn't have the support of the people. It was the quite opposite. The When she was running, the people clearly spoke up and said, we do not want her
Yeah,
nowhere near here.
she didn't even make it to to
She
the
was one of the
50 yard
first ones
line.
out, if not the first.
Right.
I had to double check that one. I had to remember. But she was one of the first
She
ones
was,
out, if not the
and
first.
like I said, you know, she gave this big rant about how, you know,
How racist
Joe Biden,
Biden was.
right. And now he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And he's running the country. And he's in contact with everybody and he's involved and he's giving direction. And he's been doing this for a few days. So, you know, he's going to be tired. You know what I'm saying? So but he still upheld his obligation and went down and sat down and had this conversation with this independent investigator. And you know, he might have stumbled or whatever, but it was just disrespectful for all to be put in. He put in long days. He is running the country. He is making good decisions. He's making great policy. You know, he
Yeah, but
is the economy is stabilized and he is doing wonderful. That is not the reality that we are going to live in.
you know, I
And I
look
know
at
they
when
use a stronger word and said we don't live in it.
I look at when, like, when we look at the videos of KGJP's response or Kamala's response, and we ain't even looked at. I ain't even got us to the MSNBC. You had to almost have a bucket next to you to get ready to hurl because it's like, oh my god, they putting it on so thick. But
I'm going to torture myself and watch some
you
MSNBC
you you almost have to get to the point where it's like you have to ask yourself, like, how does someone look at this, look at these people sit there and they talk to you and lie to you straight, like, and you say, hey, I want to support that. Like, what is going
easy.
on?
That's easy. That's easy. Yeah, that's easy.
These people have my best interests at heart. I'm supporting this.
They
The
do
people that tells me that I the people that tells me that in order for me to believe what the FBI just told me about the president and his incompetence or his elevated medical dementia, uh, is not living in reality. And and I'm supposed to support this.
because the boogeyman is going to get you.
Man, look, and that's the problem, because and I hate that people's allowed all this propaganda, and these people do this to them in their heads, where it's like before all this, people knew that we had real issues and problems within this country that needed to be hammered out still, especially when it came to race. But there was still some things that need to be hammered out, and let's not include, because I'm going to say race. Let's especially including class. Okay, poor been getting the short end of the stick the whole damn time, and we can also talk about race. But regardless, this is what I don't even remember where I was going with that. Hold on.
This is what becomes of it. Makes you wonder, like, what is the real argument anymore? You know, it's like we don't, like I said, we went from race, everything was about slavery and race and black and white, to then it's about each and every other disenfranchisement that people come up with to overcome. So it's like, at what point do you stop, and give everything a chance to settle in? Um, but I know we're at a point right now in America to where it's going to get wild. It is going to get wild. Um, I'm telling you, this is not something to be taken lightly. The fucking president of the United States it's not well. This is not to be taken lightly.
Well, and again, like you said, we got the boogeyman out there, and that's what I was going to go to. Is I was going to say that we got all these different issues that we know that existed within this country that need to be worked on or whatever, and y'all really sat here and allowed the individuals who's like mostly benefiting off of these problems or convince you that one individual represents and is the source of all those issues and problems. That makes no sense. One individual then became the face of all hatred, of all problems wrong with America. One individual has become the face of it. Never mind, and that goes to the ongoing thing that it's like an ongoing, like repeated narrative that we see over and over again, where it's like the problem is not what gets addressed; it's the reactions. Just like everyone for the last 3 years wants to talk about January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. But when we want to talk about what the issues of January 6th was originally about and what we were talking about was the certification of a fraudulent election. But you're not able to talk about the actual fraudulent election.
Just January 6th.
So we can't talk about what the problem is. It's just like with the impeachment, that first impeachment that they did with Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? That was such low bullshit. You we want, all you want to do is talk about this phone call and him the statements he's making on this phone call instead of talking about the contents of what the phone call was supposed to be about, which is this person who's getting ready to run for president corrupt in your country? Did he do this? They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about the phone call. So here we are 3 years later, where now we have all this evidence in front of Congress where, yes, he actually did that. Yes, Joe Biden is involved with Ukraine through his son. Anyone who's been paying attention to Congress who believes any different is either willingly lying to you, or they just I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at this point. It's so crazy that we are actually having this discussion with people who are sitting here telling you that the only reality that you can believe is what they are telling you is reality now. And it clearly does not match up with what you're living.
KJP. We do not acknowledge that reality. We don't acknowledge that reality. We don't acknowledge that reality, y'all. That reality don't exist, so we don't acknowledge that part. So that's not even a part of the
Why
conversation.
would you expect anything any different from people who constantly tell you that they don't live in reality?
That
They
came
can
from the White
they
House
won't even tell you
secretary.
That's the press secretary. I
That
refuse to live in reality. Yep,
she's
that's not
supposed to
reality.
be speaking for the president. She
It's
said
not
we
reality.
do not recognize that as that reality. We don't recognize it. We
We
don't
don't
recognize
recognize that as a
it. So
reality.
it is what it is.
But the other part of it, remember though, in that
Now,
same report,
that's true. That's
in
true.
that same report, it did
100.
clear him of any wrongdoing or at least prosecution.
But the reason was that reality
That's
we're not going
wild.
to acknowledge. We're not going to acknowledge the reason why. We're not going to acknowledge that. No, that's not reality. That was impolite. He shouldn't have put it in there. He's being politically biased. Trump appointed him. Even though a couple Democrats put him up, whatever. I mean, okay. Uh, let's say that prosecutor did sit there and say, you know what, I'm about to crap on these cats, and he do add that in. Let me ask you a question: does that change the fact that it's true? It does not. Let's say he shouldn't have put it in there. Let's say that wasn't the proper thing to do, and this is election time, and you just don't put that kind of information out there. But you know what? He did. And it doesn't change the fact that it is true. So whether he shoulda, shouldn't, coulda, woulda, houlda, coulda, didda, or whatever, it don't change the fact that it's true.
It's true. So, with that said, again, I have to start focusing my attention to individuals who are supporting this, because this is where their power is coming from, is from their supported or reported supporters. So maybe I need to start understanding the supporters of this, because I don't understand how you can watch stuff like this and not be like completely like just appalled, sick. So let's move to this next one real quick and see what we got here. This is one of our news outlets. So let's see how they report on it.
The special counsel wrote that the president could also portray himself at trial as an elderly man with a poor memory who would be sympathetic to a jury. Hers description.
A neurologist and a lawyer.
Let me just finish, but I agree.
Well, but we kind of need to stop there. A neurologist.
You're talking about her.
Her from Trump University.
Yeah.
And I've got to stop right here. I know we want to go on and finish this report, but I've just got to start. Ken Delaney.
I seen you, you know what I'm saying, make the little face. And you see where they was at. They were just trying to poke fun at the prosecutor, her, and talking about a graduate of Trump University and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not taking none of this serious, you know what I'm saying, type stuff, right? And then this is why we're not taking it serious. Look what they had the nerve, the audacity. Look at the nerve. Well, he has the nerve and the audacity to say. So, and he wants the floor so he can continue. So he stopped her so he can continue.
So bizarre. And there's so many people that immediately heard these random conclusions, irrelevant conclusions, politically charged Trump-like ramblings, who, first of all, wondered why in the world he would put that in a report, his neurological assessment of Joe Biden, and secondly, why Merrick Garland would release garbage like that in the Justice Department report. Can you give us any insight? Because it sure sounds like James Comey in 2016, who July couldn't indict Hillary Clinton legally, so he decided to hold a press conference and indict her politically.
How can you look at this stuff and even take it serious anymore and say, I support this? These are the ones who's telling me the truth here. These are the ones who has my best interest at heart. These are the ones that's living in reality. These are the adults in the room.
Why did Bill Garland release it? He should have kept that under wraps, nigga. You know what the game plan is, nigga. You been over here. What's wrong with you, Mayor? Mayor, like, man, they tried to impeach me, man. I'm getting off the ship now. Shit. I ain't playing with you. I don't play long enough. I'm done. I'm putting my toys back in the cabinet. I'm done.
What kind of question is that when you know the answer? Talking about why would you even put this in there as part of the report? Because you have given this, not you, but They given this man the job and to do this, and the directive that you're doing this job, even though it cannot come to no results at the end. Period. So now, how do you sit here and do your job and come up at the end and sit here and tell everyone, yes, this man's a criminal, but I have to find a way to let him off? Well, thank God for me, this man has dementia, and that's what we're saying. How do I not put this in the report that the reason I have to put in the report that he's a criminal because I did an investigation. So I have to put in the report that he's a criminal, but I also have to put in the report and justify the reason that y'all telling me I cannot prosecute and go through with this. So yes, I have to tell the reason.
I'm protecting my pension.
The news telling you this?
I'm protecting my pension. Is you crazy? Some people follow the rules, y'all. No matter who they, you know what I mean? No matter who they work for, some people follow the rules.
Like I said, I don't understand how we can keep on watching this stuff happen in front of us. This is the response. This is how they treat their supporters, and you support this. It makes no sense.
I want to ask Mr. Peter Doocy, next time you stand in front of the press secretary, ask her, quote, Miss Press Secretary, in our reality, the president is mindless. What are y'all doing about it? We understand in your reality that it does not exist. But can you please address our reality for a minute? Because we have addressed yours, and you said it don't exist. We understand that. But can you answer the question in our reality, please, which is, what is the plans?
You heard me?
In our reality, can you just would you be willing to speculate in our reality what y'all plan to do? Because in our reality, this is major. We understand that your reality it doesn't exist, but we all have a certain reality out here also that needs to be addressed from the White House, please.